You just won the lotto and then you stubbed your toe. Stubbing your toe didn't feel like that big of a deal, right? Because your pain tolerance was nice and high because your serotonin levels were through the roof because you just won the lotto. Okay, but then another day, kids are screaming at you, life is terrible, you just got fired, and then you're walking down the hallway and you barely stub your toe. It hurts so bad, right? Because everything is about perception, and pain tolerance definitely plays a role with our psychology, but also how our physiology is in a given state. And when you're fasting, believe it or not, your pain tolerance goes down. I'm gonna explain why. It's a totally normal thing. Hey, after this video, check out Thrive Market, online membership-based grocery store where you can get whatever it is that you need for keto, for paleo, for fasting, for whatever, and you can just sort by diet type. They're a big supporter and sponsor on this channel. They have been for years, and because of that, there's a special link down below where you can save 25% off your first order with Thrive, plus get a free gift. So it ends up making it so you don't have to go to the grocery store. You just log on, you order your pantry essentials. They also have sustainable seafood and meat. It's awesome. And then it just shows up on your doorstep in 1 to 3 days. Super easy peasy. And there you go. So again, that link is down below in the description. It's called Thrive Market, and they are a total game changer. So cool study published in the journal Psychophysiology took a look at 36 women that went on a 36-hour fast. They fasted from about the morning of one day till the evening of the following day. Okay, and what they were monitoring was their pain threshold. And they found that at the end of this fasting period, their pain tolerance had gone down significantly, as well as their pain threshold. So what the heck is going on here? Well, it's probably a simple stress response, right? You're stressed out, so pain is just hitting you a little bit more. But I personally noticed that if I work out during a fast, my rating of perceived exertion, I fatigue faster because I feel like my pain threshold is a little bit lower. Well, now there's a little bit of some evidence as to what's going on. There's something called the sympathovagal balance. Now, what this is kind of how your nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system and your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight versus relax, communicate with your vagal nerve and how this all works in connection with your pain. Okay, so what that simply means is when you are skewed more towards the sympathetic nervous system, like you are when you're fasting, your pain threshold is going to be much worse. Okay, so yes, we have that playing into the equation, but we also have to look at other things. There are other studies that have demonstrated that when your blood sugar starts dropping a little bit, there is a correlation with a lower pain threshold as well. And if blood sugar starts to elevate back up to a normal level, well, your pain threshold comes back up to a normal level as well. So these are two things that happen when you're fasting, right? You are getting out of the parasympathetic nervous system. Whether you like it or not, you are not necessarily in a relaxed state during a fast, okay? You're just not. Your body is seeking food. The whole idea is that you're in a stressed spot, okay? Your body is liberating fats because it's trying to give you fuel because you're in a stressful spot, okay? But you combine that with a little bit lower blood sugar because you're kind of going hypoglycemic as you're adjusting, your pain threshold is definitely gonna drop. So this can manifest itself in headaches. It can manifest itself in even aches and pains that you were like, wow, this is weird, I'm getting painful. I'm getting more pain when I'm fasting. What's going on here? Well, there's another really important situation we have to look at here. Okay, most people would not describe fasting as a relaxing experience. Okay, they find that they get a lot of clarity, they find that they get a lot of focus and a lot of energy, but they're not exactly those that are relaxed. And what's going on here is that when your blood glucose levels are dropping a little bit, but more importantly, your insulin levels are dropping a little bit, you have less tryptophan getting into the brain. Okay, so tryptophan is an amino acid that is very important when it comes down to serotonin because tryptophan converts into serotonin. Serotonin is the feel-good neurotransmitter. Okay, so what happens is tryptophan competes with other large amino acids. They're called large neutral amino acids. Okay, so if there is not a lot of tryptophan circulating, because tryptophan has to come in from food, okay, so if you're not having a lot of circulating tryptophan, that means that other amino acids are occupying the transport into the brain, meaning practically no tryptophan getting into the brain, very little serotonin production. Well, guess what? Serotonin has a correlation with pain threshold as well. Low levels of serotonin, higher levels of pain or lower pain tolerance. Again, it comes right back to that whole thing. If you did a scratch off and you just won $10 million, you'd be flying high on cloud 9. Your serotonin levels will be super high. You feel great. Plus, you just got a hug from a really pretty person and you feel just super good. You stub your toe, it's the last thing you care about, right? But if you're stressed out and your serotonin levels are low and you find out, oh, I didn't win the lottery, I actually got a bill from the IRS, the wrong thing, I got it confused. Then you stub your toe, it's gonna hurt, right? Serotonin levels are lower, pain threshold is going to go down. Now, I mention this because this is obviously very common with things like headaches and also things like people will express a little bit of like joint pain and things like that. That factors double in with dehydration. Okay, we have dehydration that happens when we're fasting. It's kind of a normal thing. So think about that. You get a little dehydration headache, your pain threshold is just down. So that headache feels a lot more intense. Or perhaps joint stiffness or joint pain. All of a sudden, like you get a flare up. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time because more often than not, you see the anti-inflammatory effect of fasting comes in. But that doesn't come in for a while until the ketones are like present. And you have to be fasting for a little while before that happens. So you've got this rough gray area period between like 16 and 24 hours where you can start feeling kind of cruddy and your pain threshold is low. I just wanted to be able to share that that is a pretty normal response. One of the positive things, if you're one of the people that have stuck through this entire video, rating of perceived exertion is important for building resilience, right? If your pain threshold is lower, it does not change the fact that you are still being exposed to a higher degree of pain that is relative to you. So if you go and you work out towards the end of a fast and that workout feels extra hard, even though that's somewhat like a perceived exertion, it is still relative because when you go back to the gym on a day that you feel good, you're going to be able to withstand pain a little bit more. Because pain, it's not this linear thing, it is relative. So I know that's a little woo-woo weird, but the point is embrace the fact that things can be a little bit harder because it allows you to adapt a bit more. So as always, keep it locked in. I'll see you tomorrow.